بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
The next thing we'll try to understand about the CAPWAP messages. Like previously, we have discussed that the access point is going to discover the WLC, and then it is going to join to that particular WLC, and then it is going to build some kind of CAPWAP tunnels. Now, these CAPWAP tunnels are established between the access point and the WLC, and these tunnels are going to encapsulate the data which is moving between the access point and the WLC. So again, these CAPWAP tunnels are responsible for carrying the 802.11 related data and the client data information. So those are things which will be sent over this. Now, one more thing we need to understand is this CAPWAP uses two separate tunnels. So again, this CAPWAP actually consists of two separate tunnels. One for the control information or control messages, and another is for the data information, or the actual data goes over a separate tunnel. So they use different ports. The control messages uses UDP port number 5246, and your actual data uses a different port number like UDP 5247. Now let's see what exactly these control messages includes. Now control messages includes like the access point configuration, like the WLC is going to configure the access point, or any kind of management configuration information. So this will be exchanged through these control messages, and by default these messages are encrypted. So which means whatever the control messages exchanged between the access point and the WLC are secure. Okay, so securely the WLC is going to control the access points, and those control messages are exchanged. But whereas another tunnel, that is your CAPWAP data, is used to the CAPWAP data tunnel uses UDP port number 5247. Now in this, the actual data packets which are coming from the wireless client, like the wireless client is sending some data to the access point, and the access point is going to encapsulate and send it back to the WLC. So your actual data messages or actual data is moving over this CAPWAP data tunnel. So the packets traveling from the clients to the associate access point to the WLC again. Now by default, this data is not encrypted unless you apply some kind of encryption mechanism. So your data is not encrypted by default. But if you are using, if you want, you can enable the data encryption that can be enabled on the access point using some DTLS data protection mechanism. Now, these are the two different messages. Like the CAPWAP uses two different tunnels, one for the control messages and one for the actual data being sent from the client to the access point.